Hello, everybody. We are live. I am Sybil Wilkes. Welcome to What You Need to Know Headlines. It is Thursday. That means it is George Wallace Day. And in addition to George Wallace is nice. That's good. It's always great to see George. But the really special guest is the one and only.
I need to stop the show right now because
Kenny
I'm not going to be able to
Lattimore.
say anything today because Kenny Lattimore. Is that Kenny Lattimore?
Oh,
yes, sir.
Is that him? Oh,
yes,
my God,
sir.
he looks like a little boy. I was looking at him all the time and not knowing that was him. It's the baseball cap. Oh, my God. Kenny Lattimore is so happy to have you on here today. This is all I'm going to talk because the ladies take over the show because they've already been calling in and talking about, oh, his song for you. They sang that at my wedding. I heard so much shit about you today, but I'm so happy that you're here. Excuse me for cursing because I know you're a Christian. And my favorite music that you do.
Yes, sir.
My favorite, he called me yes, sir.
We all say yes, sir, to you, George. That's the way we respect our elders.
My man.
But listen to me, Kenny Lattimore, America, everybody that's listening, I'm so happy that this man is here. I love his music. I love his presentation, everything, and his friendship, and it's just good to be here today. It's a crazy Thursday, and I can take my mask off, all of that stuff, Sybil.
Yes.
So it's. But I ain't taking my mask off.
You did the vaccine. You did the vaccine and all.
I got both my shots in the same day. Let me tell you something.
I love it.
They got both in one arm and one in the ass, and I will get another one. I don't care about these shots. I love it. The boosters, I'll get a booster, and the young kids that are getting the shots today, and I'm going to move to Ohio because they give you $1 million. That is so stupid.
There's the lottery. Yeah, absolutely.
That is so stupid.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. That's a part of our news in our newsletter, Kenny.
Wow.
And talking about the governor of Ohio has announced that there's going to be a $1 million lottery name pulled for 5 weeks. One person each week will receive $1 million who has been vaccinated. And it could even be just the one vaccination so far. But starting the end of this month, every Wednesday, they will have one person's name will be pulled and that person will receive $1 million. Now, here's the other thing. People who are 18 and younger who have been vaccinated, they will get full ride scholarships to the Ohio State, not Ohio State, but to state schools in Ohio. Full tuition, room, board,
everything, full ride.
Yeah.
Wow, that is amazing.
Yeah.
I think that's
George, I'm with you. I might need to move there.
I go along with the part about the kids going to school, but they're giving away the $1 million makes as much sense, my daddy used to say, makes as much sense as having an ashtray on a motorcycle. Now, I'd rather give 100,000 people $1,000 than give one person $1 million.
Yeah, that's true.
That would be the same. I would go get a shot for $1 million, for $1,000. Wouldn't you, Sybil?
Well, George is the mayor of Las Vegas. Maybe you can make that happen.
But that's what I would do in Las Vegas. They're doing some stupid stuff in Las Vegas too. Elon Musk has brand new transportation system under the ground. Did you hear about that? With 64 Teslas, brand new Teslas that will drive you from point A to point B underground. You'll never see it. 64 brand new X model Teslas, so you don't have to walk it. Isn't that amazing? That's
amazing.
Musk, yeah, but if it were me, George Wallace from Linwood Park, I would have just put a train.
A Tesla train?
A regular train. Now, just a regular train. What the hell you need 64 cars going back and forth for? You got to get in the car with people you don't know, somebody fat ass like me, you got to get in the car. Just a regular train like Atlanta Airport from B to A, you know.
Yeah.
So that's what I would do. So, but when
so
I'm
Kenny, let me
But you know that thing about the lotto, though, most of the time, you know, we don't have people that are really financially literate. So I think that they know that $1 million is going to go right back where it came from,
and hopefully
and it circles back over.
Yeah,
it goes back to the state pretty much. So I think that's the strategy of it all, the sensationalism, right?
And you're not going to get but half of it anyway. And another stupid thing people do today, the lottery is $400 million, right? So just a few people play. Now, when they get up to 800 million, then everybody plays. $30 million ain't good enough for your ass.
Yeah, you're right about that. You're right
we're
about
happy to
true.
have Kenny Lattimore. And Kenny, the rest of the show is yours because the ladies, because I don't talk a lot.
Well, I think you've just proven otherwise, George. But Kenny, we are very glad to have you.
Thank you.
Let me ask you first of all, how far back do you and George Wallace go? Do you go back to your DC days? Because, you know, George was already on stage by the time you were born. So I'm just wondering, do you remember?
Wow, how far back? Oh, man.
Now, you're not going to remember, but I'm going to tell you where it was,
okay,
Sybil. And Sybil, you were with me. We had the Tom Joyner Morning Show in Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
We went to a boathouse or something like a boathouse.
Oh, my goodness.
At the Sky Show that morning. And he was lucky. I think he was like 18 years old at the most at the time. But everybody was loving him then and still loving him. So that's a part about it. And we've done a few cruises together. And this guy.
And we've hung. Like, I've come to Vegas and really, George has treated me as a brother. Yeah. I've come and hung out in Vegas, which was the best because George is one of the most intelligent, thought-provoking comedians ever. You know, I gotta say it because even coming here, I just felt like, wow, if there's something I don't know, I'm gonna learn from George today. It's awesome. Always gonna be some lessons in the day. So.
That's right. That's right.
Sybil, he doesn't know I cuss.
Well, he knows now. He knows now. Absolutely.
And George, I love the fact that he'll check on me from time to time. He just will. And that's so amazing because I know you're doing so much between Vegas, your family, just life. And but I love it that he checks on me from time to time. It is a blessing, brother.
Thank you so much. And God bless you.
So George, what was it about Kenny? Because he has, for those of us who have had the opportunity to watch him and to be in his presence, he has a tremendous spirit. And you do too, George. So I'm just wondering, do like spirits just kind of gravitate towards each other? Because you guys both are those people loving kind of spirits. And I will tell you, I was going to ask another mutual friend of ours to join us, but unfortunately he's traveling today, and that's John Murray.
Yes.
Oh.
Me too. I was going to ask him too.
Yeah.
That's my dude.
Yeah, exactly. And let me tell you, John is traveling for the first time today.
Okay.
Since he traveled to your wedding, Kenny.
Wow.
That's the very first time he's been on the plane.
Wow.
Yes, Sybil, to answer your question, when he came to do the show with Tom Joyner, he was talking about where he come from, and he's out of the church. And you know, you mentioned church to me. I blew up because I love church. But then I was on a cruise with him, and I don't know how to say this, but he had me crying. He sang a gospel song called "Great Is Thy Faithfulness,"
right?
And it just knocked the hell out of me. I couldn't take it. It was so fantastic, and that's my gospel guy right there. I tried to get
blessings.
I have a church at I have a service at West Angeles Church of God in Christ. 5,000 people. I tried to get him, but he was flying and working at the time. But he's been there to sing at my church. But we just. That song, Great Is Thy Faithfulness, and all your other music is fantastic and beautiful, but that blew me up. And
that's an anointed song,
He became my friend, and you know, he's out of the church. Are you Church of God in Christ, or are you just holiness?
No, I've been interdenominational, so I have been just in fellowship with all different congregations.
That's same thing,
yeah. And it's a blessing. I've met so many incredible people, like-minded, and so different too. You know, I think that some people think that, you know, the church, everybody's kind of compartmentalized or what have you. But again, you have a George Wallace who's a different personality, and a Kenny Lattimore, and we're just so colorful and vibrant as a people. And but the church has been that foundation, you know.
Yes.
And was it that way growing up in DC?
It was. I was a part of a church called a movement called the Faith Bible Churches, and it was just a small group that's kind of like a Church of God in Christ, but you know, just a small independent group of churches. The great thing is that I was taught the Bible, so it wasn't religion. A lot of times people go, "Oh, so and so's religious," but I wasn't religious as much as I tried to learn who was Jesus and what was he talking about. I want to emulate him,
right?
And if I can do that, then it makes the world a better place.
That's so amazing. You want to emulate Jesus. Me too. That's why I'm not married. I want to be like Jesus.
Right.
And I'm happy.
Yeah. That's key, though. A lot of people act like, and my wife talks about this on Divorce Court all the time. And she has a book coming too. I'm going to tell you all about it.
So what you say, you were married to Judge Faith Jenkins on Divorce Court, right?
Yes. Who is the host of Divorce Court.
Yeah.
And one of the things that she talks about is That was a beautiful day, But being happy in your singledom, because that's the time when you do get to learn and take it and be happy with you. Because if you can't be happy with you, what you going to bring to the table?
Exactly.
Hey.
Exactly. Come on, preach, brother, preach. How did you all meet, Kenny?
A mutual friend, one of my good buddies, Aaron Lindsay. He's a great producer. He produced my Christmas album. He produced on my last album, Vulnerable. And we've been friends for many, many years. That was just the first time that we actually worked together. But he thought that we would be compatible. And he was just absolutely right. I think that the qualities that I really wanted, I started to list out my core values. I didn't, a lot of times people go, I want this person to be this and this is for me. But I had to go back and say, well, who is Kenny? What is Kenny bringing? And what do I really think is my foundation that she would have to fit into? And, some of those core values is family, that I love people. Because, if you marry somebody that doesn't love people and you love people, that's going to be a clash at some point. Because it's going to be like, why are you out with these folk all the time?
Right.
And there was a lot of, a huge list that I made really because it was the first time I had ever made a list of its kind. So when I made that list, I looked at her and I was like, wow, check. You know how you start talking about, I was like, check and check and check. And I think she did the same
check,
for me.
Like, you mean check like check?
Check mark.
It was like, I thought
you
meant money check. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, that too. She was good with that too. No, just wonderful though.
And was it love at first sight?
No, I think that there was a connection, but I thought initially that it was more when some people are meeting for the first time, sometimes there's a little hair toss, a little flirt, a little, I didn't get none of that. It was like, oh, I'm meeting with the judge right now. And I do understand. She was like, well, why would I do that? It's the first time I'm ever meeting you. And I said, well, I think I've been in LA too long. That's all, So no, it was really great. We talked for like 2 hours. So there was an instant connection, but I think we grew a friendship and then grew into love.
That's really important. That's really
very important. You got to like a person before you love a person, because that love can break off any time.
That's right.
Hey, how about that? And it's the like that's going to sustain you.
I'm not married, but I know the rules. It's kind of like a child counselor. Most of them have no kids and they know everything about kids. So I can tell you how to stay together.
It's true.
Yeah. And now you are a year into this. You just had your first year anniversary, right?
Yes, we did. So if everybody can imagine, we get married, have this amazing day. I mean, Stevie Wonder, happy birthday, Stevie, sang at our wedding. Yeah. Today's his birthday. And it's so crazy because little did we know the whole world was going to shut down like days later.
Right.
Thank God none of our guests got sick, anything like that. But it's been really interesting connecting to people a year later. It doesn't feel, I don't know, it feels really weird. But what I love about relationships is it doesn't matter how long sometimes that span is. Right. When you get back together, you just connect like you did before.
Yes.
And then and everything just kind of flows, Yeah. But we've been happy that with Faith hosting divorce court, it's allowed us to have her face, out there, so people feel a little more connected to us because they see her every day on TV.
Yeah.
And then I even got a chance to do an episode. She brought me on to be an expert and encourage some young people on the show. So that's been really wonderful. But we've had so many things that the pandemic just that brought out of us. It was probably the best thing that could have ever happened, because if you can imagine me also in my regular career, I would have flown out like right after the marriage to go and do a gig.
Sure.
Right.
And then been bouncing around, so the quarantine is what allowed us to create a greater foundation for our relationship. So it was really amazing.
That's really nice. And tomorrow night, you guys are going to be on the season premiere, or start. Tomorrow night is Black Love. The season begins, and you and Judge Faith are going to be a part of the couples that are saluted and talk about love and Black love on the series.
And that interview was right after we got married. So they wanted to know what it was like, months into the quarantine, very early and being married. So we shared what we, all that we could share, and in our with because a lot of times on Black Love you have these deep stories about so many things. Love is the honesty and the authenticity. So we were able to share exactly what it was like, at that time period. I didn't want to tell too much about it, but just let people tune in, because Black Love is an amazing series. It's something I've been a fan of for many years.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It really is. It's a great job, and the couple that put it together. Do we have a comment or something here? Yes, we do. Hello, Sunflowers. Kenny can sing and he looks great. Yes, you are absolutely right. He can sing and he looks great. Yes, absolutely.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
We're also going to talk about another project that I found that you are a part of. But right now it's time for us to go to our trending video. And I really want you guys to see this. This really touched our hearts here on What You Need to Know News Staff. And so this is a young woman who went in for surgery and really changed the outcome of the way she felt that her experience with her doctor. So if you'll take a look at this.
For the first 24 hours, my head was all bandaged up. And I was in and out,
Just before her surgery, India had washed and detangled her hair, hadn't given much more thought to it. But when India came to and looked in the mirror, she saw something that wasn't there before.
I said, someone put braids in my hair.
Not just someone, her surgeon.
That was a complete plot twist to me.
She'd found a gem in Dr. Jewel Graywood.
That's all patients want. They want you to be kind and compassionate and actually think of them individually.
Graywood's well-trained as a girl dad.
I have 2 daughters and we have curls night.
He knew that India's beautiful curly hair would wind up tangled and too tough for her to do herself post-op. So he did it for her. He even put in staples instead of stitches so they wouldn't have to be cut out.
So the fact that it was braided up and parted in a way where I could clearly get to all the incisions, it just made my life completely easier.
Wow.
What is that? How great is that? So that
happened
a year ago. And the story is still making its rounds.
Before you go further, is that the girl that put the Gorilla Glue in her hand?
No, George. No. I know you want us to have her as a guest, George, but this is a different young lady.
No, I want to have the gorilla. That's what I want to have. But Juliet and the Brown won't come on with us. Okay, go ahead.
But the really touching part about that is that she said this doctor saw her. Mm-hmm. And, he understood as a girl dad, that is the terminology, like people like Kobe and what have you, as girl dads, and recognize, what challenges she may have coming out of this surgery. And so he took the time. Nice. He saw her and saw what the challenges would be, perhaps, and tried to alleviate that. It's just really nice to take note of somebody like that who really does take care and concern. And I feel like you're one of those people, Kenny. I know George is, and I just feel like, you guys are very sensitive and George in his own way, but about what people like and may need. Certainly that comes through your music. Thank you.
Yeah, it's very important to be in touch with humanity. I mean, I think that is what makes what we do worth it. Mm-hmm. And I agree, because when I'm with George and I see his show, he has a way of relating all of the current events, right? Any and everything. He makes us laugh, makes the moment lighter. And then my music, I try to do the same thing. I try to make people or give people words, particularly us guys, for things that we don't always say and we don't always talk about, because we're socialized differently. We're not socialized to communicate our emotions and our feelings. I'm feeling like, but it's like, when you have a song, sometimes it just helps to enhance that and helps you connect it better with the people you love.
Yeah, and it certainly comes through. I want to talk more about your music and the projects, and we are going to talk about a little bit of news, because I don't know if you know, Kenny, but we have a newsletter since Tom Joyner dropped us all off at the curb and left radio, and we started doing something else, and it's called the What You Need to Know newsletter. It's a daily Monday through Friday newsletter, and it's absolutely free, and we ask people to go to SybilWilkes.com and subscribe. So if you would, we'd appreciate that for you and Judge Faith to take a look at it every day. And what we do is what we have done is take what we learned from Tom Joyner and that is to super serve the African American community in terms of news and health and HBCU corner and things like that. So definitely, and then we bring that here to our Monday through Thursday show as well.
So we get to talk. So we're going to talk about this now, because I got the newsletter right in front of me.
We have somebody before we have a comment. Oh, nice. Sonia Glenn said, Kenny spoke to our word VRG in December and serenaded us at the end of the meeting. And he also has a time card. Yes, he does.
Oh, man. Thank you so much.
That is nice, Sonia. That's very nice. So we are going to talk a little bit about the newsletter, George and Kenny, and talk about one thing that we have focused on are some of social justice issues, but especially in terms of the Derek Chauvin trial and the murder of George Floyd.
Yes.
One of the latest cases we're talking about is the Andrew Brown Jr. Shooting by police in North Carolina. And they had an update in the Chauvin trial regarding these aggravating factors. And according to Judge Cahill, the prosecutors brought up these aggravated factors in the death of George Floyd, and he said that the 4 Minneapolis policemen abused the position of authority, treated George Floyd with particular cruelty, committed the offense in the presence of children, and we saw those children who testified, committed the crime as a part of a group with the active participation of at least 3 other people. Now, what these aggravated factors will do is he'll take these into consideration along with some other pre-sentencing reports and determine whether that one charge that he is going to be the one charges, which is the highest, second-degree murder, he can be sentenced up to 40 years in prison. And so you can, and with these things, he can go beyond 40 years, or he can go what the average is, they say, which is about 12 and a half years. So I'm wondering if you guys have thought about it, and are you like a lot of us, Kenny and George, and thinking he needs to be under the jail for longer than 40 years, or what?
Oh my God.
Well, old man Pat Robertson, he's 150. He said that he should be put underneath the jail. Pat Robertson said
that was a surprise, right?
And I think they should give him an extra 10 just for having his hands in his pocket. Just add on extra 10 years for putting his hand in his pockets, because that was like no respect whatsoever. Arrogance. So absolutely. 40 years for me is out of nothing. But he'll get it in jail. I think he'll get it in jail, if you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, and that's a tough one. The part that you just said about he'll get it in jail, because that's a reality. It's like beyond justice now. It's just the whole respect and everything. But street justice is coming, and it's not anything that we can control on this end.
Right.
And it's unfortunate, but it's a reality. So I don't laugh at that part of it, but it is really a truth what you just said about that. When he goes in, it's no telling what's going to happen.
That's right.
Then again, I think he might get more. They're going to give him some respect. They may not even put him in a real jail.
Oh no, I could see that happening, because if he's in a prison with they're going to get him.
With Bubba and them.
Right. Absolutely.
Right now. Yeah. I know he was segregated, or he has been segregated since he was the verdict came down. But just as an aside, the 3 other police officers who are going to go on trial, they were supposed to go this year, and now it has been postponed until early next year, their trial. And what the judge has said is that they will do the federal case first for them, and then we'll see what happens. So that is an interesting and also a constant conversation amongst some of us. Some people have kind of gotten to the point where like, okay, I just want the sentence and let's move on. All of this kind of stuff. I like going in the weeds and stuff and getting to this and talking about it. But I want to talk about something that we have been very, very, and George is leading the cause, Kenny, and that's talking about people registering to vote.
Yes.
And to make sure that these election laws that most of the Republican legislatures have tried to ram through their state legislatures in order to deprive people of our color and other people of color their rights to vote, and making it more difficult because of what happened in November.
Right.
So now we have this election law. This is the federal election law. It's 800 pages, this bill.
Ooh.
And this is requiring states to offer the mail-in ballots, the minimum of 15 days of early voting, and all of these things they're trying to put into place, which will override the state restrictions that these state legislatures have put into place. And the thing is that because the Democrats have such a slim majority by one, meaning the vice president, do you think this is going to go over very well, if it's going to pass and end up on the president's desk? Because there are some more conservative Democrats who aren't necessarily in favor of this.
Kenny?
Ooh. I hope so, because why would we want to deprive anybody the right to vote? I mean, that's what it really comes down to.
Exactly.
Whatever if you want accuracy in terms of how people really feel and how they want to be represented, you can take it all the way down to the wire. What you want is a real vote,
right?
And that's. I hope that everything goes well.
If you don't like the vote, you don't change the rules.
Absolutely.
Which is what they're doing. Even in states where Donald Trump won, they're still trying to change it. It's like 48 state legislatures have electing bills of some type, or if they haven't already passed them, in 11 states.
Well, my thought is that this is going to sound crazy to you guys, but my new bit of the year is most people in Congress should be comedians. There should be more comedians in Congress, because they're doing some stupid. Kenny, I'm going off the book. Okay, you never heard me.
Okay.
They're doing some stupid shit. Let me tell you why they're doing stupid shit. Why in the hell should there be 800 pages about voting? There should be one page about voting, and comedians would say, "Let's get it done and let's get it over with." And that rule should be: if you got a Social Security number, you can vote. You can vote.
There it is. Everybody.
By mail. You can vote. You can go down there and vote if you want to. And we're doing so much on the cell phone today. If you can buy an airline ticket and get your seat on a, you should be able to vote on you got your pen.
Reach.
If we can vote for people on American Idol and The Voice by phone, and millions more people do that,
and millions more. And I just think it's stupid that we should be even having to pass. I don't even know what a civil rights law is. Why should we have a voting rights law? You're born in America, you vote in America, you vote. That's it. It's just that simple. And that's why maybe if I were to run for office, I think I might win just being simple. We just know right and wrong, working with the truth. Look, the truth is powerful. We got a lady named Liz Cheney right now. She's working and sticking with what? The truth.
The truth.
She is not going to back down, and all of these people they're liars. So and then these young people, they know we're going to vote, so they're really scared. We are going to vote. The power of vote. The young black people, the young white people, the Asians, everybody know we're voting. When something is wrong, you can see it. You can see it, and so that's what's happening. We got to vote, and when we vote, and as black people, we get the Democrats in. We got to do something, as people say. We got to actually do something and get it done. So once we get the power, we need 10 more votes. We need whatever we have to do to get those 10 more votes. I think President Biden, he's smart enough. He may be able to get those 10 votes. I don't know.
Let's hope. Let's hope. Kenny, I wanted to ask you.
But we still got to worry about the guy in West Virginia.
Now, don't you?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
You have an 18-year-old.
Yep.
18.
18 years old.
Hard to believe.
Wait a second.
Yeah, KJ
the little boy that 18.
Yeah, on his way to college.
Oh my
God. And it's so great. I'm gonna have to get him this newsletter because
no, you're gonna have to get him a vaccination. You get him a vaccination so he can get it.
Oh, he's phenomenal though. He's doing really great. He wants to do some music things, and I told him I support him in whatever he decides to do. However, I told him, I said, you need to learn some things about business. And if you go to school and you study business and, music is always there for you. I can expose you to as many things as possible in entertainment. But there are things that I learned on the street. That's what I call it.
Yes.
That I was like, you don't have to learn those. You don't have to learn it the hard way. It doesn't have to take you as long to get to understand certain things.
Right.
So if you study it, and we can compare notes.
Okay.
So you tell him what I tell all the young comedians. There's show, and then there's
business.
And the business part, it's kind of like being a comedian. If you can get through the BS, because most of maybe the music industry is like that also.
Same.
There's about 60% BS and the 40% of the content and the substance. But it's whatever you do, I don't care how high you get, there's going to be some BS somewhere in your life. That's why I don't worry about being on top of the mountain. I just worried about me being on the mountain. Everybody I know on top of the mountain has run into some problems. If you think about anybody that was on top of the mountain, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said, I've been onto the top of the mountain. I looked over and I've seen the promised land. Aretha Franklin's on top of the mountain. Michael Jackson had problems. Everybody you think about is on top. John F. Kennedy was on top. Everybody on top of the mountain has problems. So just be on your way up the mountain and enjoy life.
Keep pushing.
And I tell them too that you love your gift, love your craft, because sometimes what happens to people is they're trying to keep up with somebody else,
right?
And they're trying to live up to standards and things that they can't. But if you keep that love for it and remain unjaded, it'll give you a little more longevity.
Be the best you.
Exactly.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Does he have the voice, Kenny? Or
Absolutely.
He does.
He's got the voice. He's writing. It's good. He's very critical of I'm working on a new project now. I just did a new partnership with a company called SRG.
Nice.
And we're working on some new music, and some things will be out this summer.
Good.
And he comes in and he listens and he'll tell me, no, I don't like that. Or yes, I like that. He comes in and he gives it to me,
That's nice.
And but it's funny because my thing with even creating with him is making sure that he understands my legacy, because he, even at 18, even though I'm his dad, it doesn't necessarily mean he understands my legacy and where I fit, and that his sound and his approach is going to be so different from mine. So I try to embrace it so that he never compares himself to me, because a lot of kids do that too. I was talking to a little Sugar Ray Leonard Jr. And we got into stuff that I didn't even think about. I was like, I need you to talk to my son, because you're a junior of a very famous dad. How was it? What did you take on that gave you challenges, and how did you overcome those? So he gave me some good advice though.
That's nice. That's really good. The one thing I did want to say when I brought up that he's 18, that he will register to vote.
He will register to vote. Yes, he will.
Oh, hell yeah, he's going to register to vote. Listen.
If Uncle George has anything to say about it, I'm sure that will happen.
I'll come in, and I know you're not supposed to do this or say this, but I will beat his ass right now if he doesn't go down there and vote.
That's old school. Look.
That's old school. I'm old school. Yeah. If you coming in this house, you're gonna vote. You're gonna go vote before you eat. That's right. He's gonna vote.
People died for this right.
Yes.
That's right. That's
they
right.
Died.
Absolutely.
Your ancestors deserve you to get out there, and we do too.
Yeah.
You deserve for yourself to
Come
vote
on now.
and be represented.
We're gonna make you a part of a PSA, Kenny.
All right, I'm there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So every day in the newsletter, we also give our coronavirus update, because it has been around as long as
I need this information.
Yeah. So today we're talking about how the numbers are coming down at a pretty fast clip in the United States. We're now under, when you think about it, we're under 40,000 new infections for the first time since September of 2020. And a month ago, the country reported about 71,000 infections a week. So that's good news. But now there's also seeing a decline in the number of vaccinations. And George, you know how it was when you first got your vaccination. People were making appointments and getting thrown offline and things like that. So and that's why we have the lottery in Ohio, to keep people interested in doing things like that. I'm just wondering, in the conversations with your son, Kenny, are you guys talking about the vaccination and getting it, or?
Absolutely done already. It's I guess this, I don't know. I guess this will be a commercial for the company I'm about to say, but UCLA began to send out newsletters, and they got to a point where they were like, okay, if you have friends or family members that want to be vaccinated, you can bring them to your appointment.
Oh, that's nice.
And they had stations out in the colleges and places that can facilitate large numbers of drive up. It was a drive-through. Got the shot, sat in the car for a bit, like 15 minutes. If you had, where they monitor whether you have any kind of reaction. And it was a very, very easy thing. Yeah. So initially, I have to admit, I was like, let me wait a second. Right. I'm not going to lie. I was like, let me wait a second to see some other people go through this process.
Sure.
Because we as Black folks have had a history, right? Yeah. We've had an interesting history that other cultures don't even understand, why we have been so hesitant. But then I got to the point where I was like, well, I got a tetanus shot. I've had a flu shot before. I've had other vaccinations. So
why not?
Why not do this and try to make this this whole thing go away as fast as possible?
Well, they talked about that last night on The Last Word. Sybil, I don't know whether you saw that last night.
With Trevor?
Dr. Murthy, The Last Word. Dr. Murthy and Dr. Fauci and how progress has been made.
Lawrence O'Donnell. I was thinking Trevor Noah, but
Lawrence O'Donnell, The Last Word. And also our girl was on there. Which was
Dr. Kiznekia.
Sybil, 34 years old. Oh my God, Sybil. Yeah. She was so brilliant. And I tell you what, if you would have listened to her, you would want to go get a shot just because of her. She inspired everybody and she knew what to do immediately. They've had the COVID testing a virus, what do you call it? The virus, they've had it around for a while and they knew what to do exactly. So she was there at the beginning and she is just smart as she can be. And God, it's just nice to see a person of color. In charge and telling everybody what to do. She's in charge. She came up with the virus. Fantastic.
Moderna.
Nice? Yeah.
And wasn't a connection with SARS? And I mean, we've had airborne. Now
that's what she was saying.
Yeah, because we in the entertainment industry for years, and I know George. Well, no, all of us, Sybil, you as well. We were in the airport, and it was always Asian people would have these masks on.
Always.
And we would be kind of laughing, like, I wonder what this, is it a cultural thing? We don't understand. But I think they have always been more aware of airborne diseases.
Sure.
And making sure that they weren't either spreading or taking that stuff in. So it's like really a trip having everybody with masks on and all. Yeah. How do you feel about these masks coming off?
I'm not taking mine off.
That's what my wife said.
I ain't taking mine off either. I don't care.
I'm masked till the end of time.
I don't trust you two.
It's like, is it going to come through?
I have so many masks. I don't know whether you heard about it, but today it was announced that George Wallace and Jack A. Sybil, did you hear about that yet?
I have not, George. I was waiting for you to tell us.
George Wallace and Jack A. Harris are now going to be the parents of a new show called Phoebe Robinson called Everything's Trash on ABC. So that was announced today. So
congratulations.
I stole 1,000 masks. I got more masks than anybody could ever use. And I'm not taking my mask off. I don't give a damn what the CDC says. I'm going to wear my mask inside and inside. No, not me. Not me.
If you're vaccinated.
Congratulations. Oh my God.
George, I'm so proud of you. Congratulations. So it's Jack A. and Phoebe Robinson.
And Phoebe Robinson and a few others. It's a wonderful show. We're just the parents of some very young, hip kids about the age of my friend here, his age, and they've gone through everything. And we're from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and they've had everything in life, and we let them get away with everything. And now they're growing up to be nothing. And they're smart. They got all of the education in the world. And finally, they turn into something, and now we're proud of them. Like you didn't believe in them at first, but now they're coming through.
Wow, George, that is so awesome.
But I had to go in as a guest star. I couldn't go in as a recurring character because I have the Norman Lear project.
Right.
That's waiting. And Norman Lear, we got to do this real soon because that hat is now growing into his head. So I have two projects in the works there, but that's why I have the mask. It is so good to be. This cast is so funny. The young people, they all got names I can't spell. These young cast.
I'm so happy for you, George. That's so awesome. That is awesome.
I'm trying to keep up with J. Anthony Brown. I get jealous. Every time J. Anthony Brown gets something, I get jealous. And if I don't get it, I send it to him. So we're kind of competing there. You know, we both have to work. And,
well, the competition of great talent is a great thing to watch for us.
That is awesome.
Good for you. So it's you and Jackie Harry and Phoebe
Robinson. Do you know Phoebe Robinson, young comedian? Yes. Everything is trash.
Okay, everything's trash. Great. Thank you so much for sharing that. So that is a part of our entertainment, and just want to close out, talk about the newsletter.
We only been on 15 minutes.
I was talking about the newsletter. Hang on a second, because we also have the HBCU corner, and want to give a real salute to Felicia Rashad. She's been named the Dean of Howard University's College of Fine Arts.
HU. You know. Hey.
Isn't that wonderful, Sybil, to see her there? I don't know, but I think they told her age today is 72, and she's the dean of the school. Isn't that awesome? That is wonderful. She went to school there also, did she?
Yes, she's a proud alum. She graduated magna cum laude.
Yeah.
Who else did she teach? Come on, who else did she teach in her class?
I want to say that it was
Michael. Wasn't Michael there? Was it Michael B. Jordan? Was he there?
I don't think he went to Howard.
Chadwick Boseman.
That's what I'm talking about. Chadwick. Yeah. That's what.
Yeah. And the young lady that is plays Sterling's wife on This Is Us, Susan Watson.
Yes.
She's phenomenal.
I want to say she was one of her students as well.
But Felicia Rashad is still working.
Yeah, she's the dean. That's amazing. How great is that?
How could you go to a class like that and she's there and your instructor? What do you do? Just sit there with your mouth open?
I don't know. So you kind of alluded to this a little bit ago, Kenny, when you talked about how the pandemic came in right after your wedding, and how this, created the foundation for you and your lovely bride. So the question of the day is, what have you learned about yourself during the pandemic and or the quarantine, I should say?
Wow. I learned that I could be more creative than I thought. Because sometimes, it was a lot of people that went kind of down in their spirit, but that the human spirit is resilient. And it's interesting, as George was talking, we're celebrating another new thing today. And that is that my wife is executive producing a television show in the crime space for Oxygen TV called Killer Relationships. It was just announced today as well.
Awesome.
And we were sitting right in the kitchen talking, and it's like, blah, 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 I found out that she and I were a great creative force together in quarantine.
Oh, nice.
That we could inspire one another and bounce ideas back and forth. And, God bless us to actually have something in production. So I'm super, super proud of her. But I think that was a big deal for me. I'm able to take a step back from the creative and be administrative when she needs me to be. And then I can step up as well and give creative ideas, and vice versa. She's amazing administratively and detailed. And those things I could have only learned with the quarantine, really, because again, we would have been, baby, I'm almost home. All right, we're gonna go to dinner. You want to be here? That would have been our whole thing.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you know what I learned,
Sybil? Your courtship, probably, as you were coming in and she was going out and that kind of thing. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. George, what about you?
But Sybil, we did something together. And when this first happened with the pandemic, we were all very uptight and concerned and confused with the coronavirus 19.
Yes.
And we didn't know what to do or what was true. And we had a leader of the country, giving us wrong information. And we were just so confused. And no matter how confused, and sometimes we went through a little depression. All of us did. But no matter what that was, what we did, I'm going to say on Thursday nights, because that's mostly what we did, I'm in a position where I'm able to joke about things, and it made me feel good. It was part of my therapy to be on and helping other people laugh and go through this. And so I have the greatest job in the world, Kenny, and so know everybody. You have to sing. All I have to do is lie. I just make up shit. I make up.
But you do it so
well. People pay us just to make up shit. And so this last year has been so endearing, and we wrote a lot of new jokes, and you got more jokes to write. We never stopped, and like I said, we did some things. I learned a lot. We wrote a book. I did that, and then we did Jimmy Kimmel on Monday night. What was that? And it was just busy as hell. And it's just, life has just been really good. It's gotten better for me, and I can't wait to go back to work in front of the audience. I haven't gone to the people at Jimmy Kimmel was the biggest audience I've worked, and all of a sudden it was coming back to me. It was really getting in. So I have the greatest job anywhere. So what I've learned, I learned that we can continue to laugh. And no matter, when you stop laughing, you stop living. So no matter what you do, you keep laughter in your life.
Yeah, that's good. That's great. Kenny, we're going to talk entertainment, and I want to hear about your latest project. You said that you have some things coming out.
I just started. Literally, it's going to be some music coming this summer. But I partnered with a company called SRG, and it is my own label. Partnered with them, and they're mainly doing distribution and marketing for me. But they are a label. And Universal is the larger company. So I'm expecting to be kind of everywhere. Faith and I are going to hit the road together and do some things because she also has a book coming. So we're figuring out ways to just use, again, our gifts and our platforms so that we can just continue to enhance each other, to enhance the world. That's been it. We want to inspire everybody.
So what is the book? What is Judge Faith's book?
The book is in the relationship space as well. Okay. So I think she'll be releasing details very soon, but it's a book in the relationship space about making good decisions, being smart in your decision making in your relationships.
Nice. Well, tell her the door is open here. We'd love to have her.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Because the books are important. And Sybil, you held up my book a few seconds ago, and I did promote that on the.
Yeah, I love it.
Yes, you did.
And I had the hardcover. Sybil, I had the hardcover, and I told him it was $140 for the hardcover. Guess what happened overnight?
What's that?
What?
We got at least 10% of the sales was for the hardcover, the $140 book. As opposed to the $19 one. People just love the tweets and having fun. And it's the call and respond. It's now become a game when I do my tweets. So, but it's amazing that, and you can go online, georgewallace.net. I always forget that. Get the book, but the hardcover, $140. Because I was charging $1 per character, But I look at it as half price because now Twitter has moved up to 280 characters. So that's $140. But I really, But I be thinking.
I be thinking. I love that.
So Kenny, one of the things I wanted to ask you, entertainment wise, tell us how real is the Michael Jordan effect?
Woo! You know, what a blessing. That was one of my greatest blessings during the pandemic.
That whole Last Dance, the documentary came out, and then he was.
It was funny because I knew they asked me about licensing the song, and they said, okay, we want to license the song because we have this clip in this Last Dance thing. I didn't even know about the documentary initially. My manager is a huge sports advocate, so Q was talking to me, and he goes, "Oh yeah, this is the documentary." He told me all about it. I said, "Oh yeah, well yeah, let them know that they can use the song." It was no problem because that was just a reality. I knew Michael Jordan was a huge fan, but they never showed me the clip of what he was going to say. Sure. So I was sitting just like the rest of the world, and I was looking, and I was like, I think this is it. I think this is the part when they're going to have him say whatever he's going to say. And when he went on and he bragged about our friendship and the getting the album first and all that, it took me back because, I mean, that was 20 some years ago. And I said, oh my gosh, I did send him this. And I had to think about the people that were involved. I was like, I think I had so-and-so do this. I mean, my mind was spinning. Okay. Right. And then, of course, I get emails. I get Twitter messages from people all over the world. They're like, this is Jordan's guy. You know, I'm listening to Kenny Lattimore. Guys in Russia, you know, white guys in Russia and in Italy and just people all over who didn't know who I was initially. So, you know, Michael Jordan saying that you're one of his favorites, even 20 some years later, brought a lot of people. I saw some big royalties come in.
I was going to say,
I definitely saw some big
people buying. Yes.
Downloads and all that. I saw some big changes there. So blessings to him. It's amazing because you just never know. It's good to treat people well, right, George? Right. Like all the time. Always treat people well. And, you never know what blessings are just going to come back to you. You just don't.
It's just, George, you know this, just with all the people that you come in contact with. And I was talking to Yolanda earlier today, and we were talking about sayings that my mother used to say. And when you cast your bread upon the waters, you know, you don't know how it's going to come back to you. But that's the kind of situation we're talking about.
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
my mama said other stupid things. My mama. Did you ever? I had the greatest mama in the world. I swear to God. She died when I was 16 years old, but she had me prepared for everything. And the last word she said to me when she left the house was, "Don't you worry about a thing in life. It's already taken care of." I did not know. She said, "I'm going to the hospital. I'm not coming back." I did not know that. But she was the greatest lady in the world. And I just thank God for her and putting me to where I am. And I'm telling you, you don't even understand what they know already. You know, like going to college with 3 degrees, and I may have paid $4,000 or $5,000 for 3 degrees. You know, being the RA in college and going through school, and just blessings come from everywhere. And when you are blessed, you got to give back. That's our job on earth, is to give back.
Yep.
To give back on this planet.
Now, George, I did not know we relate in that. That's a very deep subject matter, but I lost my mom very early too.
Did you?
And yep, I sure did. And she managed me. She was the one that told me to take voice lessons. And to, you know, it's funny because it's like they had this intuition.
Yeah.
Even though I know my mother didn't think she was going to die, and I definitely didn't. I was in denial all the way. I was like, no, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. But to think that everything that, like what you said, so powerful, everything that you actually needed, she gave you within that short period of time.
Everything.
Can't touch it.
She made us soap, she made us cook, she made us clean, and I had to clean the bathroom, and I wouldn't do it. She had to bust my ass, and I still had to do it. Why didn't I listen to her? Clean the bathroom. You only had one thing to do the whole week, is just clean the bathroom. Next thing you know, didn't I tell you to get your ass in there? She did. Hey, Kenny, I know you don't know about this, but my mama had a dish. She had a dish rag. She popped your ass with that dish rag. The nastiest dish rag. She cleaned the plates with it. She washed the window with it. She cleaned the stove with it, everything. But thank God for our families. And I want to say hello to my family in Atlanta, Georgia right now. Our nephew passed away, Kenny Curry, my nephew. But my family is sticking together and strong. I love it. And I love you, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it.
That's right.
Amen. Amen.
And your family is still on the East Coast, Kenny?
My family as well. I just got back from seeing some of them this past weekend. My mother's only sister, who's alive, Lauren Reynolds. I love her to death. She's my auntie wee. So I spent part of Mother's Day with her and sang for our First Baptist Glenarden, which is one of the big wonderful churches in the area.
No way!
We did Mother's Day for the First Lady.
Oh my God! What a great church that is!
What is it? Isn't it great? So thanks. So hello to my family and everybody too. I love you guys.
Nice.
Oh my
That's
goodness.
really sweet. That's really, really nice. We have people are asking why we don't have Kenny singing, or why we're not playing some of his music, and it is it's a licensing thing with YouTube. So I thank you so much for understanding. And George is always asking singers to come on and sing, and we have to explain him every week.
But I tell you what.
I thought this week we was going to make it happen, but Kenny, because I was going to make you sing the whole song.
Right.
But you know what? What I love is that as the vaccine is being distributed, we're getting back to live performances. I told a couple people, I said, I'm on like the wedding tour right now.
Okay.
I'm doing really small, intimate things. But by the fall, come and see me and Faith. We're going to be celebrating her book release, and we're going to do a conversation and a concert together. So look for that. We're going to be doing them pretty soon.
Okay, so can we follow you on Instagram?
There? Don't you need a comedian there to kind of open up things, get things going for you?
Wait a minute. Okay, we're gonna have to talk about. We're definitely gonna talk about that off camera. If I could make that happen, woo! Okay. Wow, that would
great would that be?
That would be incredible. These places are real small, George. I mean, they're like super. It's gonna be intimate gathering.
We're gonna pack them up. There's gonna be no social. Well, yeah, we're gonna need the people in there.
Right. We're gonna yes. But we'll definitely be in Atlanta.
Look. Can we go to Kenny Lattimore?
KennyLattimore.com.
Okay.
And then and sign up for my VIP list. And what'll happen is we'll send you an email and let you know exactly where everything's going to be. You don't even have to search through and all that. Just go to KennyLattimore.com, sign up for my VIP lounge.
How you pronounce your last name? Because you know I'm from Georgia, Kenny Lattimore.
That's how you know.
That's Miss Lattimore boy.
That's Lattimore good enough for me.
We have a lot of Kenny, our Facebook and YouTube audience. They, have been, just you might have seen the messages coming. They absolutely love you, and they want you to. They want to know when you can come back and join us again. So we'd love to have you and Judge Faith come on.
I would love it. Give us a call. Yeah. We can do that soon.
Brother, it has to be on a Thursday.
Thursday, do it on a Thursday. Yes.
Roger Cox in Tennessee, I know you're watching out there. Janet Watkins, I know you're watching out there. They all crazy about you. Michelle Martin, we know all of those people in the Washington D.C. area. They love you.
I love it.
And by the way, I think we should call the Washington football team the Washington DMVs.
Okay.
All right. The DMVs.
DMVs.
Oh, that's not bad.
Absolutely.
That's not bad at all.
George,
that's not a bad name.
I want to close out with one story for you, George. This is for you today. Forget about the price of gasoline. Chick-fil-A is experiencing a shortage as well. They're dipping sauce.
It's the roosters. No, it's the roosters. The roosters, they got tired.
Not just the chickens. It's the sauce.
The sauce.
So they're parceling out the sauce. They give people just one container of their sauce.
Wow. Really?
And so there's a shortage of the sauce, and they're blaming industry-wide supply chain disruption. Sounds like the gasoline problem that we're going through here.
No, what it is, it's the Popeyes formula. We're running out of sauce, and that they had no chicken sandwiches at Popeyes, and the place went crazy.
Right.
So that's what they're trying. They put that advertisement out there. See, I be thinking, and the price of gas. Listen, the price of gas is up right now, right? But Sybil, I never told you about this, but when I first got to Georgia, the price of gas went down to like $1.70. And I heard about it, and I jumped in my car, and I ran down to Costco to get gas, right? And I'm waiting in line for 2 hours, and after I got up to the pump, shit, I drive a Tesla.
I love it. Yes.
Shit, I'm down here. I forgot about that. I drive a Tesla.
What are you doing here?
I was so excited about the price of gas. So cheap.
Right.
When I get up there, get out of the car. Oh shit, it's a Tesla. So think about your EVs, ladies and gentlemen, because that's the thing of the future. So you don't have to depend on this gas.
That's right.
Gas is going to go away. So
that's right.
I have a hybrid. That's as close as I'm getting.
Yeah, I do too. Yep.
Yeah. So I'm not sure about the whole EV thing.
Well, you have to, because in less than 10 years they won't make any gasoline cars anymore. In 2030, General Motors, Ford, they'll stop.
I will have some young person driving me around.
That's right.
So you know, Mr. Uber, you have your own Uber service by then, huh?
Okay. Well,
that's what life is going to. So in the future, you won't have a car. It's going to be all about the new that's what the new word TAAS is about, the new transportation system. Nobody's going to own a car. You don't have to park the car. You don't have to pay for the insurance. You call, and there'll be a car, whatever kind of car you want, black, it will be there to pick you up. So let's think about the future 10 years from now. Things will change.
Joylyn Wright is saying, I need to get married to have you sing. First things first, she needs a guy. Okay, so if you know a guy, Joylyn. And then we'll get her a guy, and then can Judge Faith marry them? And then
you know what? I think she can.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
Yeah, we could do a whole package deal.
Exactly. And then they get the book.
Yeah, they get the book that teach you how to stay together.
Right. Before we go, every day in our newsletter and on the program here, we have what's known as our daily inspiration. It's Yogi's Jewel. And today's jewel always is in reference to George Wallace as he's drinking. This is good. And this applies to both of you. You are responsible for bringing good energy into the world. And you two are both great statesmen to do that, bringing good energy into the world. So we thank you both for the great energy, the great talent.
When you walk into a room, if you don't cause a smile on somebody's face, you got a problem. So make sure you keep laughing no matter what.
There you go. With a song in your heart and a smile on your face, George. There you go.
Amen. Are we finished?
Yes.
Thank you for having me.
No, thank you, Kenny.
Let's do it again for sure.
Please,
we'll do it
absolutely.
again. Right. That's wonderful.
Absolutely. It's been so wonderful to see you again, and I can't wait to do it again. And with your bride, come back on and talk about all the great things you all are doing.
Sybil, he speaks so well as a color guy, doesn't he? As a color man, he articulates so well. He's good, isn't he? We're up there, right?
George, you've heard that before too, haven't you, George?
Color.
Oh, Lord.
Bye,
yes,
everybody.
Lord.
Thank
Take care.
Thank you so much.